How do you take a study produced by a Harvard PhD researcher, psychologist, and turn it into a conspiracy theory? You'd think a Harvard researcher, PhD, study would be good for something. Until Trump tweets about it. Then everyone's gonna say it's just a conspiracy theory. Wow. Well, I will stress, Donald Trump tweeted about this study about Google manipulating votes, and he got it wrong. But it's like he got the gist of it. He got some of the details incorrect. But the general idea is there, and the idea has kind of gone through a game of telephone. But the funny thing is, this guy, Dr. Robert Epstein, Harvard PhD, is being slammed and smeared, and he's a huge Hillary supporter. I'm not joking. Look at this photo he posted. It's like he's with Hillary Clinton. And this guy is being smeared. Look at this. He talks about how he's being smeared in the media because Hillary Clinton lied about him. But I'll get to that. I gotta say, the joke is if Trump came out in favor of oxygen, liberals would hold their breath. Okay? Trump could say so. If Trump came out in favor of Antifa and said they're great, all of a sudden you'd see everyone abandon it. They'd be like, uh-oh, that's Trump's thing. I kid you not. If you can't even cite, albeit poorly, a Harvard researcher without the media slamming it as a conspiracy theory, what do you do? Listen, man, I work in news and journalism and politics. I'm trying to figure out the truth. I'm gonna take the word of the PhD guy over some random people on a blog, okay, on some digital news website. If he says this is what I found, I'll be like, oh, well, I trust the expert. Look, this is the anti-science left as far as I'm concerned. Look, there's reason to criticize articles. They're criticizing his research, which he's conducted for years. And I've got some evidence to back up his claim, at least circumstantially. But the left will absolutely deny science when it's convenient and then claim the conservatives deny science over climate change. While there are certainly many people who don't agree with the scientific community on climate change, they are not special. They do the exact same thing. I can't stand all of it. I'll tell you what, I think climate change is a serious problem, and I side with the scientific community. You know why? They're the researchers and the experts. So if Dr. Robert Epstein comes out and says, I'm an expert, PhD, here's what I found, I'll say, I can't really refute that, can I? No matter what, I can't refute it. He's the expert, the true authority. Let's read this story and see exactly what they're doing to this poor guy. I feel so bad because he's a Hillary supporter, but Trump cited his research, albeit poorly, and there you go. To the wolves with ye and your PhD, worthless. Okay, before we get started, head over to timcast.com/donate if you'd like to support my work. It's a PayPal option, a crypto option, a physical address, but of course, share this video. I often say it's because of deranking, but now I'm kind of like, let's break the bubble. I'm sure many of you have friends on Facebook who don't agree with you and you argue. Share the video. I know a lot of them will be like, I'm not going to watch this, Tim Pool's far right. Yeah, whatever, man. But I don't know, if you like it, if it's the only thing you can do, it really does help. So let's read. Politico says, Hillary Clinton zings Trump over new voter conspiracy theory. They say Hillary Clinton swatted back at President Donald Trump's attempts to spread another conspiracy related to her popular vote victory in the 2016 presidential election, this time claiming it was due to search engine manipulation. So Trump goes on to say that it was, Google manipulated from 2.6 million to 16 million votes for Hillary Clinton in the 2016 election. So here's the thing. As far as I know, Epstein didn't say they did, like they were actively manipulating it. He thinks, okay, I could be getting this wrong, all right? It's very, very contentious right now. Robert Epstein will come out with a statement, tomorrow, I believe. But I think what he was saying is that the bias of Google is doing this, not a willful manipulation. But let's read, we'll see. They say, while Trump did not cite the source of his claim, it came minutes after a segment on Fox Business Network referred to congressional testimony in July from behavioral psychologist Robert Epstein. In testimony to the Senate Judiciary Committee, Epstein claimed that based on his research, biased search results generated by Google's search algorithm likely impacted undecided voters in a way that gave at least 2.6 million votes to Hillary Clinton. Now, you can argue that the Google manipulation, Trump didn't say it was willful, but manipulation kind of implies that. So we're getting into semantics here. Epstein appears to have been citing a study based on a collection of tens of thousands of search engine results collected in the run-up to the 2016 election. The study analyzed a relatively small sample size, the result of 95 different voters, just 21 of whom he says were undecided. He based the results on a phenomenon he calls search engine manipulation effect. Google has denied Epstein's claims. Well, of course, they're doing something wrong. Now, here's the important thing. I'm sorry, Politico. You have absolutely no grounds to challenge a Harvard PhD as to why or how he's conducting his study. They say, Epstein also claimed in his congressional testimony that big tech, if left unchecked, could be able to shift as many as 15 million votes toward a particular candidate in the 2020 election. Trump appeared to have nudged that number higher in his tweet Monday. Or Trump heard it from somebody who said, you hear about this and the game of telephone plays on. I don't expect Trump to be sitting there citing things like Wikipedia. But so, he does have responsibility with a big following for sure. They go on to just add that Bill Clinton then rags on the guy for some reason. But let's check this out. Dr. Robert Epstein says, Hillary Clinton, whom I have strongly supported for many years, told blatant lies about me today. As a result, I have been subjected to widespread condemnation by mainstream media. I'm going to fight this. Stay tuned tomorrow for my first ever Twitter storm. Now, I will stress, Dr. Robert Epstein seems like a principled individual, and he has my respect. He's willing to testify to Republicans about the benefit the Democrats receive, even when he is a supporter of Hillary Clinton. And he's strongly so. And he's in videos. Bill Maher has praised him, had him on his show. And now they have thrown this guy to the wolves because his findings, the facts, might support Trump? Oh no! Reality is so hard sometimes. Well, I'll tell you this. I am not an expert. I can't tell you if his research is good or bad. I can only tell you that he has a PhD from Harvard and he's, I believe, a psychologist. Seems like a pretty smart guy. You notice the D and the R and the period in front of his name? That is a title you get when it means you're, yes, likely smarter in certain areas, or you know more. I shouldn't say smarter, but you know a lot more about specific things than other people. Now, there are certainly people with PhDs who are dumb. I get it. But the point is, do you have grounds to refute this? Do you have proof or anything to say this is a conspiracy theory? It's not a conspiracy theory. There's no claim of a conspiracy. The claim is just inadvertent bias due to weighted algorithms. That's not a conspiracy. That's just some people made a thing and it's inadvertently doing another thing. But of course, conspiracy theory is the go-to, right? That's what they want to say because it discredits you. It makes this guy look bad, and he's a researcher. It's not his fault. Trump cited it. Oh man, but I got some data for you. So here's the thing. I made a video about this. I cited his research. Maybe I got it wrong. I don't know, but my interpretation is that there's more data to back up his claim. The story about Dr. Robert Epstein goes back, I think I found something like 2012, or maybe it was 2011, where they were like, he says this is probably going to happen. He's researching this and says it looks like it's happening. And then years go by. We've been talking about it for nearly a decade. This guy's not just making it up. Check this out. Audit. Google heavily favors CNN and left media in mass shooting coverage. Now, here's the important bit. Take a look at this. Mass shooting coverage is particularly political. A lot of these stories are like gun control and things like that. Of these words, only the word Trump gets right-wing coverage. All sides does an analysis and found heavy favoritism towards the left. Now you may say, but what does that even mean? How do you quantify who's left and who's right? It's actually really simple. See, the thing is, all sides uses a multi-partisan, balanced, patented system for measuring bias. And we can take a look. Left, center, lean right. I can click these to determine why that source. So let's choose left. It's a left bias, right? I will click left. And what do we find? A left bias is the most liberal media bias rating on the political spectrum. Some of these sources may be considered left-wing news. Sources with a left media bias rating are most likely to show favor for government services, federal laws to protect consumers and the environment, federal laws protecting equal rights, taxes on the wealthy, regulation of corporations, pro-choice, decreasing military spending, a belief that the role of government is to provide for its people, to end suffering and contribute to a human prosperity. Look, I'm not going to read through every single one of these. You get the point. They use a system that tracks any kind of language that promotes these ideas, and it skews the coverage in a certain direction. It is not about a personal opinion. It is about these core tenets of a particular group, and we can go down and look at right, and we can see that decreasing government, oh, you get it, personal responsibility, freedom of speech, and freedom of speech is right. Isn't that crazy? That's nuts to me, man. Boy, do I feel bad. How did the right own freedom of speech? Liberals, what are you doing? Oh, heavens. It's a right-wing issue now? Are you nuts? So, the left is going full authoritarian. Look, I trust all sides. I don't think they're determining what's right or left based on what they think right or left is. I think they're looking at sources that use these particular core values, and they're seeing the shift. They have a mixed and they have a center. A mixed is interesting. They say, when does all sides give a source mixed media? If the source is a system for aggregating content that is openly and transparently designed to show multiple perspectives, and the content comes from sources that are left, center, and right, we assigned a mixed. Okay, we get it. Here's the point. In their findings, there's the Google search query for this breaking news story, 2 of them, and it all leans over 50% left. The left is based on the ideology. So what do you think is going to happen when people only see news in this way, without an ability to learn and see other sources? They're going to be left in the dust, and they're going to be forced in a certain direction. So what happens is people like me who seek out 2 sides or different, it's not necessarily 2 sides, because there's like the progressive view, the moderate view, there's the conservative, there's the far right, whatever, there's libertarian. The point is, I seek out multiple views. I go to, anarchist subreddits. I go to far right subreddits. I see what people are talking about. Although most of the far right stuff is banned anyway. But I try to look around. So I break this bubble by reading as much as possible. Conservatives have no choice to break that bubble because they get slammed with this. You know what that means? Regular people who don't know better are having left-wing sources jammed down their throats, and they don't realize they're being manipulated. So is Dr. Epstein right or wrong? I can't tell you, but I can say evidence suggests he's right. So unfortunately for you, doctor, you're a conspiracy theorist. Congratulations. You've been thrown to the wolves. I look forward to Dr. Epstein's response, and depending on what happens, I'll follow up. Stick around, a couple more segments in a few minutes, and I will see you all there.